Hi, I'm Sue Paul, and I am so pleased to be able to speak to you today. I first visited Singapore with my husband in 1990, and we've returned more than once since. So I had hoped that I may be able to be with you to introduce Jeopardy of Every Wind in person. But it's not to be. The opening slides will have given you just a small flavour of the incredible life of Captain Thomas Bowrey. Arriving on the east coast of India from England at a tender age of 10, his young mind absorbed all his new experiences, and he wrote about them in his book of his first 10 years in the East, and included the first European description of the recreational use of cannabis. He rapidly became proficient in the local languages, enabling him to argue with the Brahmins about astronomy, trade throughout maritime Southeast Asia, and led to him publishing the first Malay-English dictionary on his return home. And I'd like to read you just a small passage about that. It was an unlikely friendship. Thomas Bowrey, the East Indies merchant born to the sea, who finished formal schooling by the age of 9, and Thomas Hyde, the Oxford academic and one-time Bodleian librarian. But they respected each other and gained mutual advantage from the relationship. Hyde had previously been disparaging about the linguistic skills of merchants, but the pair worked together on a number of projects and continued to do so until Hyde's death in February 1703. After Thomas Bowrey returned home to England on the Bengal Merchant, he concentrated on getting himself established and preparing for his marriage. The fiasco of the St. George Galley could not be forgotten while the court case dragged on, but he was at last in a position to complete the dictionary he had started on his voyage home. Hyde was an expert in Oriental languages and their scripts. He acted as an official interpreter for Charles II, James II, and William III. Despite earlier disparaging comments about merchants, Hyde appeared happy to collaborate with Thomas, trading his experience for information, especially about the plants that grew on the Malay Peninsula. Hyde was also keen to use Thomas's contacts, at one point asking him to obtain further details about a merman discovered and killed off the coast of Denmark. Thomas collected items from Hyde from his contacts. In 1700 and 1701, Sylvanus Landon wrote to Thomas twice from Borneo. In addition to some Malabar characters, the first letter confirmed that he had sent a sumpitern or blowgun with arrows and a number of birds' nests. These items were probably for Hyde. In return for the information from his contacts, Hyde supplied Thomas with a translation service for his letters to India, word lists, advice about pronunciation, and assistance with having copper plates engraved. It was Hyde's suggestion that Thomas commented on his preface to the dictionary that the Malays had adopted a number of Arabic words. He believed this was something not previously understood in the West. Eventually, on the 25th of November 1700, Hyde wrote that Thomas's work was done. Written Malay is at least as old as written English. The earliest inscriptions, although rare, used Indic-based scripts and are to be found across the whole of the Malay archipelago. By the 15th century, Malay spread as a language of trade and diplomacy, and also as a result of the spread of Islam. Not only did Malay absorb a large Arabic vocabulary, but also adopted an Arabic-based script known as JY. The Malay Roman script, known as Rumi, was not adopted until the period of British administration, long after Thomas's time. Because of this, Thomas had to develop his own method of Romanizing Malay for the English speakers. The Dutch had already done this, using their own spelling and phonetics, but Thomas is believed to have been the first to have done so for English speakers. When Malaysia and Indonesia agreed on a standardized Romanized spelling system to replace JY in 1972, it was based on the existing Dutch and English systems and was the culmination of the evolution of a written system, in part started by Thomas. While there may be doubt as to how much of the dictionary was Thomas's own work, and even the quality of the Malay it presented, the development of a Romanised form of written Malay is generally accepted as a major achievement. Hyde assisted him with pronunciation, but the rules Thomas developed to depict the pronunciation of the language were his own, and considered by modern linguists to have been extremely accurate. The story of the dictionary was just one element in a very busy life that highlighted the jeopardy of trading between England and the East Indies during the early days of globalisation. One of Bowrey's ships was at the centre of an incident pivotal to the hastening of the union of England and Scotland in 1707, an event that continues to resonate today. His life encompassed so much, from the African slave trade with India to collaboration on proposals for the founding of the South Sea Company with Daniel Defoe, the author of Robinson Crusoe. In the last 2 centuries since his death, any memorial has disappeared. The alms-houses built in his name have been demolished, but his book, his papers discovered in an attic, and especially his dictionary, endure.